I want everyone to know who's watching this review just to sit back and realize you guys can go, pay money, watch this movie. That is your choice. That is your opinion. That is your decision making. And if you go and you like this movie and you enjoy it and you have a good time, then that is good for you. Just don't always follow the reviews. Yes, it's got a 20% Rotten Tomatoes. Yes, it's being called one of the worst films of the year. But I'm telling you right now, if you go enjoy this movie and you like it, you and go and like this movie. Don't always agree with the critics just to be cool or just to be cool and be like, yeah, I'm part of the people who I agree with everyone. I'm part of a cool person because I agree with all these people. You can go and you can go watch it and enjoy it, and that is your decision. So now let's talk about this movie. Dark Phoenix. This movie was written and directed by Simon Kinberg, who has always been in the background for the X-Men movies. Like, I've always heard his name. His first movie directing, he's like, you know what? I'm gonna do an X-Men movie. I'm gonna do the Dark Phoenix saga. And we already got that storyline back in X-Men Last Stand in 2006. So this movie is obviously the new cast. You got Jennifer Lawrence, you got Nicholas Hoult, you got James McAvoy, Michael Fassbender, Sophie Turner, the kid from Ready Player One. This is the new cast, is the new X-Men. And this movie is, again, after the buyout Marvel Universe has already bought 20th Century Fox. X-Men will become Marvel's new characters they're going to do in the next 10 years or so. That's pretty much confirmed. It's going to happen. So going into the movie, I was saying to myself, why does this movie matter? I mean, really. I mean, yes, it's obviously connected to the whole franchise they've been doing. This is obviously the last time we're seeing a 20th Century Fox X-Men movie. And so it is a little sad thing about that. So let's talk about it. Again, this movie is pretty much Dark Phoenix saga like in X-Men Last Stand. Sophie Turner plays Jean Grey. Obviously, she gets into this spaceship accident in space. She's on a mission. She gets this power source in her. She becomes pretty much the Dark Phoenix. She's evil. She's got powers and she's doing destructive stuff. And we have to see her go through this challenge, this battle while the X-Men come after her. Either kill her or save her. And we got our movie. And I'm going to say it right here. Just me honest. I thought it was a really bad movie. I'm sorry. I know, yeah, I don't want to be the person, oh, you're just agreeing with the critics. No, this movie, in my eyes, it was a bad movie. It just wasn't a good movie. And my first things, I'll talk about pop. First things first, Sophie Turner as Jean Grey. For what it's worth in this movie, she does a good job. I mean, most of the acting is actually pretty good from everyone. I mean, but she does a good job. There's moments you care for her characters, moments you're like, dang, I do feel bad for you, but you are evil in a way. Of course, James McAvoy in this movie is Charles Xavier. He's good in the role. I will talk about his character in a minute. Michael Fassbender, he's a good actor. He's good in the role. Jennifer Lawrence, she mailed it in. She mailed it in this movie for sure. Nicholas Hoult was good. We'll get to him in a second. Again, all the acting all around was solid. The girl who played Storm in this movie, she was good. Again, all the acting was good. And dude, if you're going to this movie wanting Quicksilver, you know, a character everyone loves, yeah, don't expect Quicksilver in this movie. He is barely in this movie. Barely. Like, I mean, 3 minutes, 5 minutes, that is it. He is barely in this movie. I don't know why. Everyone loves him. I don't understand why he's not like a major role in this movie. But he is not a major role, and that's very disappointing. So, but besides the acting, I mean, this movie was a mess. First things first, the vibe of this movie felt so like, when it was over, it was over. I mean, with Avengers Endgame, that was an ending conclusion to a major story arc, to many things, characters, story moments, all that stuff. This is an end of the 20th Century Fox X-Men. That's kind of a big deal. This movie felt like another mission, another thing we gotta do. Let's do it, and then it just ends. You're like, that's it. It's over. It felt, there was no, like, the character's motivation in this movie felt so, like, this is a great example. Game of Thrones Season 8. Should have been 10 episodes. Should have been another season. Should have been way more expanded and more detail and more everything. This movie needed that. This movie needed to be another 40 minutes. This movie needed to be more character stuff. I mean, when Jean gets these powers, she's instantly, like, she feels great, then she's evil, and then she does something really bad, and then she goes instantly to bad guys and joins them, and then we'll get to the bad guys in a second. And it's like, there's no development with it. She just turns bad. That's it. It's just, there's no build up to it. And it's really disappointing because this is another Dark Phoenix story, which I'm gonna say this. I'd rather watch X-Men The Last Stand than watch this movie because that movie had depth. That movie had major stakes in this movie. This movie had one scene and I was like, oh dang. But the thing is, they showed it in the trailer. Not gonna spoil it. But it just felt, there was no depth, there was no character development, there was no build up to these moments. She was bad, and that was it. Obviously I'm not going to spoil what happens at the very end of this movie, but they do something. It's like, what was the point? This movie, really, it's a kind of a disservice to people out there who are fans of this Dark Phoenix storyline, because how it ends, you're like, you're literally ruining what Dark Phoenix, the storyline, this whole build-up, this story of a character turned good into bad. It just kind of like throws that Dark Phoenix story away. Again, I won't spoil it, but they just throw away something that could be really, really just devastating to the X-Men universe and the story, and a good saga ending to this franchise. And this movie makes you feel like, oh, it's a mission, let's wrap it up. Because I'm telling you right now, this train sequence that was apparently a reshoot, it felt like when that scene started, the whole movie changed. It felt like let's just wrap it up. Marvel just bought our thing. Let's go and reshoot this, get new dialogue, get this really fast-paced dialogue to say, hey, we're wrapping everything up, guys. Let's wrap it up. The very ending, it wraps up everything so damn quick. And you're like, wow, like it felt like no one cared. It felt like no one at the very end of this movie cared to be an X-Men anymore. And it was sad to see that. And like I said, character decisions, what they do with Magneto was so just wasteful. I mean, Michael Fassbender is such a good actor. There was no point Magneto being in this movie. It didn't feel like he earned to be in this movie. Yeah, there is a reason why he is on this mission, which I get, but it didn't feel necessary. Nicholas Holt's character, Beast, decision-making is so, like, Game of Thrones. Like, bam, he's turning into this character. Jennifer Lawrence, when she's barely in it, just a total switch of a character from the last movie, just so quick. And the biggest character of them all is James McAvoy as Charles. He's a dick in this movie. He is straight up a douchebag. He's like this guy who's like friends with the president, talking to him, and loves the X-Men. We're superheroes. I love when you call me that, but we're not really superheroes, even though we are. But yeah, you know what I mean. Like, he was a dickhead in this movie, straight up. I was like, you're a dick. And then there's things you learn that he did, and you're like, you're a dick. And it makes you hate the character in this movie. And I love James McAvoy, but they made him hateful in this movie. And the CGI was shockingly, in some scenes, really, really bad. And that was shocking. But again, Sophie Turner, she does the best she could. And then now let's get to the biggest issue of all. Even though, yes, the movie felt so unnecessary in some scenes, the biggest one of all. I won't spoil it just in case none of you know who the character is that Jessica Chastain is playing. But she is in this movie. I would say she is the main villain in this movie. But if you literally, I thought about this. If you take her and her whole storyline, her involvement in this movie, the movie itself could be shorter in length because the pacing in some scenes was terrible. If you take her storyline out, the movie might be a little better because the movie is called Dark Phoenix, not Jessica Chastain and evil people. And her reasoning for being involved in this movie felt so dumb. Like, it felt so like a cartoon crayon wrote this, like, this is her character and this is why she needs Jean Grey. And then, like, the movie should have just been a Dark Phoenix movie. This movie felt like Jessica Chastain is the bad guy and Jean Grey's got these powers that they need. And then, like, it just felt so, like, we want to say Dark Phoenix. This is why I said this is a disservice to Dark Phoenix. And especially, like I said, there is no major depth and character development to this major storyline. And they don't care in this movie. It's like, Dark Phoenix, here you go. Y'all want to see a cool version? This is the best we got. So Simon Kinberg, for writing this movie and being your first time director, this was a big mistake. You guys should have gotten, like, anyone else to do this movie. Because I'm telling you, he did not do that train sequence. There's no way. The movie's directing changed. Like, it actually turned into cool action scenes when that train sequence happened. Before that, It was sloppily filmed. It was sloppily edited. Again, the dialogue felt so cartoony at times. Like, this movie, like I said, is just a mess from beginning to end. It just felt like it wasn't going. It felt like they were writing while filming. It didn't feel like anything depth. The characters made different character decisions that totally changed the character and how you feel about them. The acting is good, but again, the CGI was choppy in some places, the dialogue, the story, Jessica Chastain's involvement was stupid, and just the actual Dark Phoenix storyline itself is such a disservice in this movie. Just doesn't care about it, because you know why? Because they didn't care. They're like, Marvel bottom. I'm gonna give Dark Phoenix a high D-. It didn't do it for me. This is such a sad moment, because it's the end of 20th Century Fox X-Men, and this is how we're going out on. Well, I guess we'll see you X-Men in the Marvel Universe. Hopefully they can reboot it and get some fresh blood in there. But like I said, I'm going to miss these actors playing these characters. Because again, all of these actors were good actors. This movie felt so like, give me my paycheck, come on. I'm telling you, Jennifer Lawrence, she was so useless in this movie too. Like, oh my god. Their character decisions make me so mad. I want to spoil it, but I can't. Anyway guys, if you guys enjoyed this review, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye guys.